Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Hello.
Our mission today is, well, it's pretty focused. We're taking a really critical look at the future of the Rugby World Cup format, specifically for Australia 2027.
Yeah, we're trying to cut through all the official talk and get to what people are really thinking about these huge changes.
And we've got some very, very opinionated source material to work with.
We really do. And there's this fascinating tension at the heart of it all. On one hand, you've got World Rugby aiming for, global growth, more money, more teams.
Of course.
But on the other, critics are saying they're basically sacrificing the drama, the Jeopardy that makes the pool stages worth watching.
It's that classic conflict, isn't it? Expansion versus quality.
Exactly.
And to really set the stage for how strongly people feel about this, we have to start with this one quote. I just jumped right out. Former Ireland star Donncha O'Callaghan.
A man who knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely. He did not mince his words. He dismissed the entire new format as, and I'm quoting here, absolute dog-s.
Wow. Yeah, that's about as blunt as it gets.
It really is.
But what's so ironic is that these exact changes, the ones he hates, have also created what he himself calls a favorable route for Ireland.
Right. It's their best shot, maybe ever, to finally break that quarterfinal curse.
The very thing he thinks is bad for the game might be the best thing that's ever happened to his own country's team.
It's the perfect setup. He thinks it's flawed, but his team benefits. Before we really get into why he feels that way, if you love this kind of detailed analysis, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Okay, so let's start with the technical changes because that's what's causing all this.
Yeah, let's break it down.
So traditionally we had 20 teams. They were split into 4 groups of 5.
Simple enough.
And simple meant high stakes. Only the top 2 from each pool got through. Every game between the big teams was basically a knockout match.
And for 2027, that's all out the window. It's expanding to 24 teams.
Which means they have to change the pools. So instead of 4 groups of 5, we now get 6 groups of 4.
And that then creates the need for a whole new knockout round.
Exactly. The round of 16, it didn't exist before. You can't just jump from 6 pools to a quarterfinal. The math doesn't work. So this new layer is a direct result of adding more teams.
And this is exactly where O'Callaghan's main criticism comes in. He just thinks it kills any sense of jeopardy in the pools. He literally called it zero interest.
And he uses some great examples to back that up, to remind us of what we're losing. He talks about those old pools of death.
Oh, yeah.
Think about 2023. Scotland get knocked out because they're in a brutal pool with Ireland and South Africa.
And Argentina in 2019, same story. They had England and France in their group.
Right. Those were intense must-see games because you knew a top team was going home. One slip up and you were done.
And his point is that now, with 6 groups of 4, that whole pool of death scenario is just, it's gone. It's impossible.
It is because the bar for qualification is so much lower now.
Let's talk about the math on that because it's pretty startling.
Well, you have 24 teams starting the tournament.
And 16 of them make it to the knockout stage. 16.
Yeah, a full 2/3 of the teams advance. The top 2 from each of the 6 pools go through automatically. That's 12.
And then the other 4 spots go to the best third-place teams.
Right, so even if you finish 3rd in your group of 4, you still got a really good chance of going through. The pressure is just off. For the big teams, the pool stage isn't about survival anymore.
It's just about seeding.
Exactly. And that lack of early drama is what he believes just breaks the whole thing as a spectacle.
Okay, so let's get into the guts of his absolute dog-s critique, specifically this new round of 16. If the pools don't matter, what's his fear about this new round?
The fear is that you're just going to get a round full of just total mismatches, one-sided blowouts.
Because the qualification is so easy.
He makes a really stark claim. He says teams will be able to qualify for the knockouts with just 1 pool win.
1 win.
Imagine that. You win 1 game out of 3, and you're in a World Cup knockout match. That means you're going to have some incredibly unbalanced games.
He compared it to club rugby, right? To the Champions Cup.
Yeah, he said, it is going to go like Europe. He sees it becoming this long, drawn-out formality just to get to the real games later on.
Which feeds right into this whole debate about growth versus quality.
It does. And to be fair, he says he gets it. He says we need to broaden the game. But he seriously questions if this is the right way to do it.
It's a direct challenge to World Rugby's whole strategy. I mean, we know why they're doing it. More teams means new markets, more sponsors.
More TV deals, political pressure, all of it. But he thinks the cost to the actual product, to the quality of the tournament, is just too high.
And he offered a pretty provocative alternative.
He did. He basically asked, aren't we just better off giving those teams the money they were going to get for the World Cup so they can get better in the time being?
Wow, so just fund their development directly instead of putting them on the big stage before they're ready.
It's a brutal take.
Yeah.
But, I mean, can you really do that? Surely the experience and the exposure of being at a World Cup is worth more than just cash?
You'd think so. If you're not on the global stage, who's going to watch you? Who's going to sponsor you?
That's the conflict right there. But O'Callaghan would just point to the scores. He gave some shocking examples. Hong Kong lost to Portugal 58-12.
Ouch.
And then he mentioned an Ireland game for the summer where they beat Portugal 106-7.
106-7. I mean, how can you put a team that loses by that much in a World Cup knockout bracket? It just seems wrong.
And he didn't stop there. He went on to kind of mock the hype around the draw for 2027, specifically that Ireland and Scotland are in the same pool again.
For the third time in a row.
Yeah, and in the past, that fixture was massive. It was a huge winner-take-all kind of game.
But now, with Uruguay and Portugal also in that group.
He says everyone is trying to make it a thing, but in reality, both teams are just sailing through.
Yeah.
The game has no real elimination jeopardy at all.
It's just a seeding match to see who gets an easier run in the round of 16.
And he just summed it all up with one killer question. Is there any point watching the pool stages if you can qualify on one win? I mean, when a player of his caliber asks that, you know there's a problem.
The critique is powerful, no doubt. But like we said at the start, there's a flip side. The very thing that, ruins the drama for everyone else gives Ireland a massive advantage. Let's pivot to that.
Yeah, the positive twist. He completely admitted that this new format gives Ireland their best opportunity ever to get past the quarterfinals.
After being knocked out 7 times.
For a team with that much baggage, this new, structured, predictable path is a godsend.
Because they can see the whole route mapped out, can't they? Especially on the Northern Hemisphere side of the draw.
Absolutely. He laid out the potential path pretty clearly. In the round of 16, they could get a Tier 2 team, maybe Georgia.
Okay, winnable.
Win that, and the quarterfinals potentially against Argentina.
Which is tough, but it's not the All Blacks or the Springboks who they always seem to run into.
Exactly. And then if they get through that, the semifinal could be against England. It's a path full of teams they know how to beat.
It's a massive tactical advantage. He said they can time your run now. They don't have to peak for a monster clash in the quarters.
No. They can say that for the semi or the final. It completely changes their strategic approach to the whole tournament.
But even with that clear path, there's still the psychological side of it. He talked about that with his co-host, Tommy Bowe, who played in 2 of those losing quarterfinals.
And Bowe's comments were just heartbreaking. He said, those regrets will never go away. It's a scar that just stays with you.
And O'Callaghan's take on that was fascinating. He basically put all the pressure on the 2027 team. He said they'll either join us with scars, meaning they'll fail again.
Or they'll drive on and finally break the curse. And in a weird way, their success would almost validate the failure of all the teams that came before. It would make them forever cast in that thing.
The weight of history is immense. The new format gives them the path, but they still have to overcome their own ghosts.
It's a deep, deep part of the Irish rugby psyche.
It's just a phenomenal insight into how all this stuff works, isn't it? If this kind of intense rugby debate gets you fired up, don't miss any of our deep dives. Hit that subscribe button on Rugby Obsession now.
And there was one final little critique he had, which I think speaks volumes about his frustration.
Oh, about the venues.
Yeah, the logistics. He basically accused the organizers of shooting themselves in the foot by not making the big moments as big as they could be.
His argument was about the MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
He said if you have a massive game, a once-in-a-generation clash like New Zealand versus Australia, it has to be at the MCG. You have to put it in a 100,000-seater stadium.
To maximize the spectacle, the revenue, everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
But instead, that game is apparently going to be played in Perth.
Which holds what, 60,000?
Right. So for him, it just shows that the priorities are wrong. They're choosing, I don't know, regional spread over creating the biggest possible event.
So if we tie this all together, the whole 2027 format is a trade-off, isn't it?
It's a massive trade-off. World Rugby is choosing global reach. They're including more teams, opening new markets.
But the cost, according to guys like O'Callaghan, is a watered-down product in the early stages.
You get a predictable, structured path for the big teams, but you lose the chance for that chaotic, dramatic pool of death.
It's engineered progression versus unpredictable drama, and it's pretty clear which one he prefers.
Even if the drama could hurt his own team.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. By chasing global expansion and with logistical decisions like playing big games in smaller venues, are the World Cup organizers slowly killing the very competitive drama that made the tournament so special in the first place?
It's a fair question. And for you, the listener, does increasing the number of teams for growth justify losing that pool stage Jeopardy? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
We hope this analysis gave you a lot to think about. Subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you never miss a deep dive. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.